Chiron in Aries. He's been there for the last 7-8 years. He's nearing his end of his journey. When an asteroid or a planet is coming to the end, it ramps up its energy for you to be seen. Now, what wound have you healed? You've been going over this self-identity wound, as Chiron in Aries represents who we are. He's been there since 2018, dipping in and out, and then he finally did a long stint there, and he's coming to an end. He's at 29 degrees now, which is the anaretic degree, and he's going to step his toes into Taurus, and we'll be getting a feel of the wound in Taurus, which is about money, worth and value. But I want to focus on this energy of what we've healed, what we are saying goodbye to, and you need to give yourself a pat on the back. Now, Chiron, he was a centaur. He was born half man, half horse, and his mother rejected him. So he carries an emotional rejection wound, an abandonment wound, not belonging. And in Aries, it's self-identity. So we have been working with this energy for the last 7 or 8 years. So the question would be, where have you been battling? Where has life challenged you? Where you didn't belong? Where you were different? Not fitting in with friends, family, or even just on this earth? Where you were just existing, going through the motions? Chiron has 2 wounds, physical wound and an emotional one. We've talked about the emotional one. Physical one. He can hold physical wounds in his body as energy, dense energy. Chiron was injured by a poison arrow, and he was forever healing that wound. We can carry energetically our ancestral patterning wounds if we don't heal and release them. Now, Chiron was the plant medicine man. He was the shaman. He was a philosopher. He loved astrology. And through his wounds, he gained wisdom, and he became sought after. He became the wise one, where he would train other people, masters and deities. He would train them all. So from his wounds, he gained so much wisdom and freedom, so much knowledge. Where has your life challenged you? Where you were wounded, but you've transformed it into a higher expression to find out who you really are. It was all destined. It was all in the divine plan. I'm going to be pulling some cards, guys, and to see what Chiron, the great teacher, has been teaching you the last 8 years, and where you need to give yourself some praise, some gratitude, some love. Let's get into the energies. Okay, I'm going to start with, I'm excited to do this. I'm an Aries, and I've got Chiron in Aries. So yes, I've been healing physically and emotionally, as we all have, but I've had strong energies in Aries. Now, I'll tell you a little personal story. So as this energy's been ramping up last year, these came out physically within my body, and I was going through tests, and I never go to the doctors. I eat very healthily. Maybe it's too perfectionism around that, but that's another story. And I was getting tests. I've had MRIs, CAT scans, everything. I was feeling the physical wounds. They were debilitating me. I was in a lot of pain. And yes, they found some abnormalities. Yes, thank the Lord, they weren't sinister. But I took it upon myself to heal naturally, energetically, through plant medicine, through sound, through healing, through Reiki, through anything I could really delve into that was aligning with my heart. Now, I haven't got the scientific, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't got the scientific backup for this to say that this is, it has worked, but I feel I've cured myself. And people might think, oh, what a load of rubbish. But I had to be honest with myself and believe in myself wholeheartedly that I could heal my body. And I believe in my heart of hearts I did. Now, this is not for everybody. I'm not saying everybody come off the medications, because where they're needed, there's great Western medication out there. However, I knew I could heal. So I knew that that was for a reason. And this is the strength we have in Chiron, plant medicine. So it's that complementary. So it's yes, if you're still taking tablets, absolutely fine. You'll need them unless you feel otherwise. But then you can complement your body. But it gave me an understanding how powerful our body is. And what I was healing my body with was love, self-love. And that's an old wound of Chiron in Aries, is not knowing who he is, and that rejection and abandonment and self-love, compassion. So thank you, Chiron in Aries. I'm glad it's nearly done. Let's get in. Now, share your gift. I've just shared my gift. There's something within you, the wisdom that you've gained through healing this big wound of yours, and the wisdom that you shine it and share it. Some people will not want to know. And this is where we know where our tribe is and our boundaries come in. But know that you have healed this wound, and you should be proud. Share your gift. Ra, the sun god. The power of the sun. Then we have the soul family. You will find your soul family. Look at that Ra. They both got cow horns. And that is the sun. The power of the sun and the protection. These are both very powerful Egyptian gods and goddesses. So if any of you are drawn to the Egyptian energy, that's a higher consciousness. That's a message in itself. Okay, what else have we got here? I've gone off the track there. So let's have a look. Something in your world that you have overlooked. Your self-mastery. What could this be? What are you thinking? No, that's too woo-woo. That's too spiritual. That's too good to be true. Trust yourself. Star Maiden, rest. You're going through a highly intuitive transition. Doesn't have to be just for women. This is awakening your feminine, your nurturer, your own mother within your heart. It doesn't matter the relationship you had or you didn't have with your mother. This is you finding your love within yourself, giving you that healing, giving you that plaster that you need, giving you that medicine, potion, whatever it might be, giving you that cuddle that you need right at this moment in time that you've been searching for. We have Persephone and Goddess Isis. Whew, okay, these are two biggies. Persephone, she went into the underworld. There's many stories around Persephone. It also comes out as Inanna in Ishtar. But she went into the underworld and she had to find out who she really was. And she had to strip her ego. She had to sacrifice a lot to get where she was, to rebirth. And this is where Isis comes in. Goddess Isis had the beautiful relationship with her husband, the Egyptian god Osiris. They mastered and led emperor and empress with a balanced masculine and feminine. No corruption, no poverty, no war. It was peace, it was love. But it was powerful. Then the brother Set, the evil brother Set came, and he was jealous, and he came and he destroyed, he killed her husband. So he came in and he destroyed that happy ever after. Where is your happy ever after being destroyed? But where are them wounds where you're rising again, Persephone, coming out of the underworld into a new life, a new love, a new understanding? I knew this would be deep. Beautiful. Oh, healing the mother wound. Mother Mary. Mother Mary. Healing that wound, that anger, resentment, that fear, that judgment. Not fitting in, justifying yourself. It was all for a reason. It was all to figure out who you really are. Chiron in Aries. Okay, what else have we got? I want to pull on, I'm just going to do random pulls wherever I'm drawn to, guys. Black Moon Lilith. Let's bring in some Black Moon Lilith, one of my faves. She is the scorned feminine who was kicked out of, or apparently one of the stories is she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden because she wouldn't conform to Adam's sexual demands. Let's have a look, see what she wants to talk about. Sexual alchemy, root chakra, divine feminine, kundalini. This is where the power is, guys. This is what you've had to learn. You've had to rise and figure out and rejoin, reunite your masculine and your feminine within. Because that's where you hold the power. And there ain't no going back. You've done it. Sexual alchemy. This is where you know who you are. Your fire is burning, but not from a place of ego. This is a creativity energy. The power of the feminine. Whether man or woman, we hold this within. We need that feminine to nurture, to create. We need the masculine to allow us to move forward, to take the steps, to take the action. It's linking into that full moon in Sagittarius reading, where we have a lot of fire, Sagittarius being a fire sign, but if we don't know how to channel it, you become frustrated. You block your adventure. Lilith, the divine mother of creation. Healing the mother wound. Yeah, I knew it was linked. If you look at my full moon in Sagittarius, Chiron was coming up so strongly. So strong that I mentioned it in the Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius, the symbology is he's a centaur, half man, half horse. He has the arrow, but he knows where he's pointing it. Remember the arrow, the poison arrow that wounded Chiron? He knows now. He's healed from them wounds. Emotional family wounds, childhood, mother, home. Oh, Venus is here. There she is, benefic, beautiful Venus. Sudden surprises and shocks. Well done. Open, be open to receive your new life. Let's go into Venus, my Venus rising deck. Let's see what Venus wants to tell us. Let's lighten this up, Venus. Let's lighten this up. Chiron in Aries, what messages do we have for our gorgeous collective? I knew it was associated with the Sagittarius moon. It wants us to reignite our fun. Embrace your wildness. I'm going to read that card, but I want to show you this one. Celebrate your uniqueness. Being different. Chiron was very different. He went into a cave to heal his wounds, but he did this internally. He did this on his own, Aries. It's the independent energy. But he gained a lot of wisdom. And then when he was ready to come out, he gained so much wisdom. He was the great teacher. He was the shaman. He was the oracle. He was the philosopher. He alchemized. And this is what you've done, guys. It's time to celebrate you. I'm going to finish the reading with this card. What do we have? Embrace your wildness. 1 and 5 on this card is, oh, I pulled on the Black Moon Lilith. Funny enough, it's the dark divine father of creation, Adam, healing them, those masculine wounds. Right, I'll put that one down. Right, Sue, where are you? Number 15. So we have embrace your wildness, embrace your uniqueness. I love my wild, untamed essence. I am free to be fully me. Your natural life force flows effortlessly when you are truly free. A deep primal passion at the core holds lots of energy. Now, I'm not reading from the book, but Aries is very impulsive. It's very passionate. It hates being bored. That's one of its things. It's very impatient. but it loves to be doing. Let's go here, let's do that, let's do that. But when it's suppressed and when it doesn't trust, it can go in and be independent. And it can go in that much it doesn't trust. It goes into the cave like Chiron did. Where are you ready now to come out of the cave? Going back to the book. Yet this life force can be blocked by the learnt behaviours of societal conditioning and expectation to follow them blindly. Women are told to be nice girls and considerate to the point of forgetting their desires and needs. Over time, our passion and wildness become suppressed, disconnecting us from our essence and truth. Reclaiming your wildness is an act of liberation. It's about listening to your instincts, connecting with your desires. Now remember, this is not just about women, this is men as well. And allowing yourself to exist beyond the confines of social pressures. Your wildness is a sacred life force, joy, passion, and creative power. Creative practices that help you tap into this energy. Dance wildly, paint without rules, sing loudly and off key, write uncensored thoughts on a page, and run in nature. Explore and discover what helps you let go, opening your wildness and flow naturally without judgment or hesitation. One thing that was coming up there is one of the Cancer wounds is when you're surrounded by society that is constantly bombarding you with fear. You can't do this, rules, you can't do that. And also if you're brought up in an environment like that, because our parents, grandparents, they're societally led just like we are. So if you were brought up in a very emotionally detached home where there was a lot of fear, might have been poverty consciousness, there might have been aggression, anger, because remember this fire, if it's not created or expressed, it can go in as anger, inflammation. This is asking you to create something wild and be free. But when we are brought up in a world where this is suppressed, we then think the world is unsafe and not to trust. And this is asking us to be our wildness, our freedom. Our little inner child wants to play again. Let her be curious. Let her be adventurous. Let her be fun. Because when Chiron steps into Taurus, he's going to be stepping into the Venus energy. And that's feminine receptivity. And this is going to show us the wound. When Chiron first steps into a sign, at the beginning, it shows us the wound that we need healing. But when we know who we are, we're going to be able to address that. We're going to be able to see this. And we're going to be able to heal it. Okay, guys, take good care. Lots of love.